my name is Mattelyn Lamp, and I will be your teacher today. Today we are learning about color theory. Color theory is the collection of rules and guidelines which designers use to create different kinds of color schemes and color palettes. This is what we call the color wheel. We have our primary colors like yellow, blue, and red. Those are the colors that everything else stems from. You have your green, your orange, and your purple. These are our secondary colors because they mix from the primary colors to become different colors. Like how red mixes with blue and becomes purple, blue mixes with yellow and becomes green, and yellow mixes with red and becomes orange. You'll see that there are different shades of green and purple and orange and all of those other different colors on here, but we'll get to that in a second. These are called tertiary colors, the ones I mentioned before that just kind of stem from all the other colors. These are our tertiary colors. These are the colors that stem from all the secondary and primary colors, which we have colors like blue, green, yellow, orange, red, orange, a favorite of mine, blue, purple, red, purple, all these ones that you see here, where sometimes you look at them and you're like, is it a green? Is it a yellow? Because they're just kind of right in the middle. This really illustrates the different kinds of color schemes that you can use. The first one up here is called a monochromatic color scheme, which means that you take one color and you only use variations of that one color. Like you change the saturation and you change the values, which you can have different kinds of intense colors or more muted ones paired with it. You could have, like up here is like a deep berry paired with a light pink, and it all just looks good together because it's all variants of the same color. This is an analogous color scheme. These are colors on the color wheel that are right close to each other. So if you look at a color wheel, and you see like yellow, green, and blue, those are all analogous colors because they're right beside each other on the color wheel, so whenever thrown together, they look good naturally because they're so close to each other. These are complementary colors. Now, the thing with complementary colors is that every color on the color wheel has an opposite. Like the opposite of red is green, the opposite of orange is blue, the opposite of yellow is purple. And then once you start getting into your tertiary colors, you find even more nuanced variations of that. Like you could have just like a red, orange, and a cyan, for example. Those would kind of be complementary. Triadic colors are your primary colors like red, blue, and yellow, or it's your secondary colors like purple, orange, green, just any that make a triangle. A split complementary color scheme is one that takes two opposites and then the colors right beside those opposites. So an example of a split complementary color scheme would be like if you had an orange, a blue, and a purple. Up here you have a purple, a blue, an orange, and a yellow. So these two are complementary, but it's split because there's more colors than just that. So it just makes it more interesting. Tetradic colors are a color scheme that forms a rectangle like this. So you have like this magenta, this orange, this cyan, and this lime green because they make a rectangle on the color wheel. Colors can be determined by whether or not they are warm colors or they are cool colors. Now, if you split this right down the middle, like some of these, if you looked at them on their own, you wouldn't be able to tell. Like this is a very cool yellow, but yellow is still a warm color. This is still a cool, like berry toned red, but it's still a warm color. over here, like towards this section and up here, they're very close together, but once you start getting to kind of like 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock on the color wheel is where they're like two opposite sides of the spectrum. Like over here you have your oranges and your reds and your warm toned purples, and then over here you have your greens and your blues and your violets and so on and so forth. I brought up some examples of some different color schemes that different designers like to use. I found a lot of examples for a lot of interior design. As you can see here, the color scheme is solely different shades of purple and yellow. Even the couch, which would look gray to an ordinary person, it just brings it together because it's a purple toned gray. So everything is just a different variation of the standard purple and the standard yellow, so you have all these nice values going on here. This is an analogous color scheme. You see here we got our turquoise, we got our yellow, and we got some lime green because those are all together on the color wheel. And as you can see here, it just blends really nicely together because it just makes this really nice, crisp, cool, but light palette. Now this one is a very interesting combination of colors. It would be a split complementary because we have our orange and we have our cyan, but we also have our purple on top. So not only do you have the contrast of the regular complementary colors, but you have just a little bit more just to push it to the limit, to make the colors even better. Now, monochromatic color schemes do not always have to be just one shade multiplied of the same color. Like, as you can see in this outfit, for example, she has a navy bag, navy shoes, cobalt socks, like a sea blue dress, and a pastel blue jacket. Even though they are all variations of the same blue, they're each different in the way that the values contrast each other. Like her shoes and her bag are super dark compared to her very light suit jacket and her very light belt, and it just pulls it all together. Now, whenever people design logos, there's a lot of thought that goes into picking colors, because not only do you have the psychological color theory, like red meaning passion and excitement and blue meaning calm, serenity, spirit. A lot of work goes into deciding whether or not they want to go with a certain color scheme. Like Burger King is all primary, it's all bright, it's very in your face. Taco Bell is split complementary because you have like your deep violet purple and your magenta, which your magenta is complementary, direct opposite from this very, very bright neon yellow. This is also a split complementary because you have your deep dark blue offsetted by your neon yellow and your orange. Now, different colors mean different things whenever it comes to logos, and there's a reason why people have certain colors that they prefer for their logos. Like, red often means something bold and exciting, so you have Nintendo, which is a very exciting, video game console maker. You have Lego, which, their whole brand is based on personality and imagination. We don't see a lot of pink in logos. I don't know why, but pink means love and respect and warmth, and it often, because pink is considered a feminine color, it's a lot of the logos that use pink are marketed towards women and girls. So you have Barbie, you have Cosmopolitan, you have Victoria's Secret. renowned for being a very deep and very intellectual color. It's also a very royal color, historically. So you have Hallmark, and you have Yahoo for some reason, I don't know. But whenever you get to navy, see, there's a difference between this dark blue and this light blue, because this dark blue, oftentimes people think it's more serene, and it's more, like, it's calmer. For green, you have balance, growth, and a sense of renewal. So you have, like, a lot of stuff that has to do with, like, nature-based products, like the Body Shop, a lot of different, like, hair products that are, like, claim that they're, like, botanical, because they deal with plants or something. And then other stuff, like Lipton tea, and John Deere, because they mow grass. Whenever you get to this light blue, it's a lot more exciting than this navy. It's very vibrant and it's very energetic. So you have a lot of actually like electronic internet-based companies that like to use this, I've noticed. So you have like Internet Explorer, you have Intel, Skype, Twitter, just a lot of that different stuff. And then orange is different from red in the way that red is more aggressive. So whenever you want to pick something that is warm and exciting, but you also want something that's very bold and in your face, you choose red. But people may choose orange over red because it's seen as more optimistic and it's a more friendly color. So you have Fanta, you have Nickelodeon, you have Penguin Publishing Company that makes books. That is the end of my presentation, but I hope that I did a good job explaining the psychology and the theory into why people choose the colors that they do, because in the end of the day, it matters a lot more than the average person thinks. Like some colors, if you just put them on a couch, it'll make the couch look very ugly, no matter what like the couch looks like. If it's just like a normal couch, if you did it like magenta and bright yellow, it's garish. It's displeasing to the eye. So if you have like a light blue couch with a gray and a white and a little bit of an orange thrown in, it gives it more of a sense of balance. Thank you for letting me present to you today, and I hope you learned something.